Guys, it's me, Jessica Walters, the Health Fitness Program Manager from MITRE in McLean, Virginia. And I'm here today to talk to you about glute bridges. So welcome to today's CFW signature mini session about modifications. We're gonna go ahead and lay down on our mats with our knees bent while we talk about glute bridges. So these are a great way to work your hamstrings, your lower back, your abs, and your glutes. And I just want to talk to you about some great ways to be safe and effective while doing your glute bridge. Okay. So like I said, we're working the lower body right now, a lot of glutes and hamstrings. Depending on how close your heels are towards your glutes, that's your butt. The more that you're gonna work that area. The further that your feet are from the center line of your body, the more that you're gonna be working the back of your legs for your hamstrings. So let's get started with just a nice, regular old glute bridge. So you're gonna bring your arms down by your side to get started, especially as a beginner, with your palms facing down towards the floor. I want you to really think about relaxing your shoulders a little bit more into the mat. So opening your shoulders and opening your chest, pressing those hands, palms into the floor, and finding a nice grounding of your feet, heels, big toes, and pinkies. When you lift yourself up, you're not simply pushing into your heels to lift yourself up. You really want to think about taking that engagement of your abdominal core. So before you even get started, pulling that lower belly in, get ready to use your glutes. Squeeze your glutes. Feel free to press your hands onto the floor. We're going to come up on the exhale. Exhale up, work to be as straight of a line as you can be. You're not rolling all the way up onto your shoulders. You either have the area of your bra strap or your mid shoulders down on the mat. Keep opening that chest and pressing those shoulder blades down, and feel free to put as much pressure onto the back of your arms, your hands, palms as you need to, and then slowly lower yourself back down. Typically right before your butt's gonna touch, or right as it grazes, you exhale back up and inhale back down. Awesome. This is a classic hip thruster / glute bridge. So you can make this a little bit harder by bringing your arms further away from the center line of your body. Even more challenging would be to have your arms up overhead, maybe crossed over your shoulders, or even with your fingertips behind your ears, just so you're not using those arms as a stable base on the floor. All right. When you're doing these glute bridges, make sure that your knees are staying in line with your feet. You just want to make sure that they're not coming all the way out or coming in towards each other, unless that's a particular glute bridge variation that you're working for. So there's many different types of variations that you can do for a glute bridge. Next up, we're going to talk about 2 different ways that you can get into the hamstrings just a little bit more. So option number 1 is to just bring your heels further away from the center line of your body. You'll notice that I even picked my toes up off of the floor so I can really dig my heels into the floor. Once again, you can get started with your arms down by your side, chins neutral towards the chest. You're going to open that chest up, pressing those shoulder blades into the mat. Pull that belly in tight, find that nice tight engagement of the core so that everything lifts up at the same time and lowers down at the same time. You're not working to tuck and curl that pelvis right here. You're really working to find as solid of a base as you can from like basically below your rib cage to lift up and lower down. And it's very normal as you're doing these glute bridges, especially if they're new to you, that you might find a lot of shaking and trembling in your legs. If that's you, take a moment, just relax yourself down. Maybe even kick your legs all the way out in front of you for a sec. Bob your knees, windshield wipe your feet, and then come on back into the position. Let me talk to you about another way that we can work into those hamstrings, the back of your legs. For this one, we're going to start back in our traditional glute bridge setup. Feel free to keep those arms by your side or do whatever works for you. We're going to lift ourselves back up into the bridge. From here, we're going to press up onto the balls of your feet. And you notice after I pressed up onto the balls of my feet, I wiggled myself a little bit closer towards the center line of my body as opposed to further away. And from here, I'm just going to drop my heels down and lift them back up. Make sure that you're not putting too much pressure on your neck if this is an option that you go for. Just dropping those heels down, lifting them back up, making sure you still have that really tight abdominal core.
You don't want to lift yourself up so much that you're arching so greatly that you can't even see your knees. Your knees should be, if you have the space in your chest and your belly, visible above those toes. All right, let's go ahead, take a moment, lower ourselves all the way down. One more opportunity to kick those feet out. Now there are lots of different ways that you can do glute bridges, and I'm sure you've seen myself and other teachers demonstrating many different options. I just want to make sure you have something that works for you. If you find that the glute bridge is still really challenging for you, one great way to really start to open up your back of your body is with a camel stretch. So let's do a quick little camel right now. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. And this is just another great way to get a big stretch in our hip flexor and start to work the back. We're just going to go with the easiest version of camel. We're not even going to go all the way into the posture. So standing with your knees about hips width distance apart and your feet about 6 inches apart from each other. So there's a little bit of a triangle for your base right here. You're gonna bring your hands to your lower back, like you're sliding them into those like 1980s mom jeans, like super high. Your hands, palms are pretty much at the most tender spot on your lower back. So from here, pressing your knees into the floor, squeezing your glutes, you're gonna push your hips forward, and you should already start to feel a little bit of a stretch in the hip flexor, a little bit of a stretch starting to happen right here on your glutes. Keeping your hands, palms on your lower back, squeeze your elbows together and stretch your eyes, nose, chin up towards the ceiling. And depending on how tight your body is, this itself might be very hard for you. What you want to avoid as your eyes go up is your hips coming closer towards your heels, your glutes. So keep pushing those hips forward, keep that lift here, and eventually in the future you'll be able to go back far enough that you can see the wall behind you, and when you see the wall behind you, you can reach down and grab hold of your feet, but we're not even going to deal with that right now. Just focusing on helping to open right here, squeezing your glutes, pushing your hips forward to find that stretch on the front and a little bit on the back of your body. It's going to help you guys feel so nice and good. After you finish with camel, always take a moment to sit yourself back down and grounding, come back into your breath. And feel free to give both of those a whirl as frequently as feels good for you. So infrequently we find ourselves doing these beautiful back bends. We spend so much time rounding forward. So give them a whirl. Let me know how you feel. Thank you guys so much for coming to today's CFW signature mini session. Once again, my name is Jessica Walters, the Health Fitness Program Manager at Miter & McLean, and I can't wait to see you guys again soon.